Hi everyone. If you're thinking it's a mess back here, you're right, it is a mess back here. I wanted to open my windows all the way, but it's just because the sun's out and I just wanted to get as much sun as I could before sunset, you know. But I can't open my blinds the whole way because it's a fucking mess in here. I've just been doing my readings the whole day and just been studying and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a fucking mess. Anyway, mental health called me and now it's kind of coming into view a little bit why the family was so quiet. It's because I think what happened was that time, that Sunday, when I got really, really angry and I called the police. I said, come get me before I do something, right? It's like, I think what happened was on the Friday, it was the Friday after. Okay, let me just put it together because I need to just get a log of everything that I did. I need to get a log of everything that I did. I need to log it. So it wasn't actually the Sunday. It had to be sometime after that. Let me just see. It was on a Friday. I know that. Yeah. Hang on a second. Yeah, it was last Friday. So last Friday, after I had all that stuff happen, and you know, everybody knows what happened. I was suicidal. It was really, really bad. So I think what happened was these people either called mental health or they called the police, and they must have said something along the lines of, do not antagonize her until we've sorted the situation out. So I think that's why everything has been so quiet here, because if I'm still going off and I'm still feeling really, really bad and I'm suicidal and I'm depressed and they're not still going on, then it kind of leaves them out of the equation. So I think this happened for two reasons. One, they already wanted me off the internet. I don't know why they think me being sectioned would get me off the internet. Like, it's not going to get me off the internet permanently. And even if it did, again, the fact that I've talked about gang stalking is all over my records. So I don't need the internet to have evidence of what I'm saying. This is why, in my case, this is why I tell the truth, like about gang stalking, to police, to mental health, right? Because if I've ever told the truth and they've come back with, she's deluded, she's got paranoid schizophrenia, she's making this up. If it turns out that I was right about everything that I was saying, it is on record. That is a lot more important than an internet entry, okay? And stuff is already coming out about Havana syndrome. There's already been one qualified pharmacist who has been targeted, who has been able to discharge herself on the basis that Havana syndrome is real, okay? So it's already coming out, on top of the fact that I haven't been lying about Havana syndrome. I haven't been lying about community stalking. I haven't been lying about the electronic weaponry. I haven't lied about any of that. It's on my records. So that is a lot more important to me than me being able to rant online. I'm sorry. It's a lot more important to me to be able to get the truth on NHS records permanently than going online and chatting shit. My channel can come down tomorrow. All it takes is one wrong word. My channel could come down tomorrow. What's important is that I have those records through the NHS. It's important that those records are there to prove that I've been saying all along I am a victim of Havana syndrome and community stalking to facilitate the damages caused by Havana syndrome, to facilitate the electronic torture. It's important that it is on record that I have said this. So needless to say, when mental health actually called me, I wasn't as triggered as I usually get when they call me, because at this point, the dynamics have shifted. Now, It's known to mental health and the police that this family have been antagonizing me. It's known to everyone at this point. Well, not everyone. There are still people who are buying their bullshit or pretending to. But at this point, it's well known with everybody that I'm not the antagonist here. I mean, I do not improve the situation. I sometimes go harder than I need to. And because of the wave breaks ain't there when it comes to my emotions, I can take things too far. There's no denying that. But the thing is, now people understand when they're not here how quiet it is. And now people understand what happens, like now people understand it's not me, because the thing is, without them going off, I don't go off. Everybody's hearing this. Everybody's hearing me be quiet and all that type of stuff and not arguing or not. Everybody's hearing this. So without them kicking off and coming after me, everybody knows now, and everybody gets, especially around here at least, that I'm not the main issue. Because I'm one of those people, if you don't leave me alone, I'll take it as far as I can take it. But if you do leave me alone, I ain't taking it nowhere. It's as simple as that. You understand? So the dynamics have changed. And it's the fact that I said, you know what? If you want to call me crazy, call me crazy. If you want to have the responsibility of being the one who's sane, it's like I made a TikTok, but I'd later deleted it. If you want to have the responsibility of being the sane person to my crazy, then it doesn't just give you the right to report me to mental health services. It also gives you the responsibility to not make it worse. So the dynamics in this case have shifted drastically. I could get sectioned tomorrow, medicated tomorrow. The dynamics have shifted. It's not the same anymore. And the thing is, I've been sectioned before. My profile just goes up because then people start asking, wait a minute, where's she gone? What's happened? I was still able to use the internet the last time I was sectioned. They weren't taking a risk. They weren't taking a risk. So the entire dynamic has shifted now. It's not the same anymore. I don't know, man. It's not the same. So now everybody knows. I'm not the one who's yelling and carry on. Like, I don't know if you can hear it in the background. It's not me. Everybody knows it now. So, yeah. Even if mental health does get involved, and they will. But, you know, I'm not going to ring up the police. I'm not going to ring up the fucking police and cuss them out like that. And then it's like, there is no way in hell I'm going to ring up the fucking police and cuss them the way that I did. And they're not going to report me. But I don't think it was just them. It wasn't just them. It wasn't just them. It was definitely them. Don't antagonize her. It was not just them. It was not just the police. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they want the crazy person, they can have it. They can have it. They can have it. Fuck it. They can have it. They want the sectioning, they can have it. They want everything, they can have it. I said from the beginning, I was being gang stalked. I said from the beginning that Havana syndrome exists. They want to talk about it being a delusion. That shit's been in the news, my guy. That shit has been in the news, fam. And the fact that people have said that Havana syndrome is a delusion, that's right there in my medical records. Case closed. Case fucking closed. That means if I have like a spiral downwards or there's something wrong with me, I don't have to hide it. I don't have to hide that shit anymore. It's already out. It's already out. I can't believe It took me 7 fucking neighborhoods over 2 decades. I've been alive for almost 4, but it's like it took me 2 decades, you know, more than 2 decades, right? 2 decades plus change. 7 moves just to figure this out. If they want me to be crazy, let me be crazy. Let the reports come in. Once you stop fighting what they tried to do to you, it completely changes the dynamic. There is nothing they can do. There is nothing they can do. Nothing. There is nothing they can do to stop the truth coming out. They can hurt you. They can hurt you. I'm not saying they can't. They can hurt you. They can kill you. Like, plenty of targeted individuals have been murdered. They can kill a person easy. Ruin a person's life easy. But the truth is going to come out no matter what they tried to do, no matter who they tried to hurt, and no matter who they tried to kill. Truth's going to come out. The truth is going to come out. And when it does, people are, of course, they're going to accept it way too late. Too late for anybody to do anything, which means it's of no real risk to them. But yeah, the truth's going to come out. Has to. They've already been reframing it through the use of new technologies. And when I say they, I mean defense companies, corporations, pharmaceuticals, government. They've already been reframing the narrative by putting new technologies forward under different names and under different companies. Like, they've already been doing that. So, like, for example, there are headphones that are wireless, and instead of the sound coming from an external place, where it actually comes from, what happens is that there's a frequency that only you can hear that goes directly to your ear bones, to the bones in your ear. So it's like no one else can hear the music but you when you put those headphones on. That's Voice of God technology. That's the same as Voice of God technology that has been used on all targeted individuals at some point. I've said that. That's on my records too. Told the police years ago. Told the police years ago. So I was kind of surprised that when mental health called me, I wasn't triggered. But then when I really started to think about why my emotional response was like that, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm not going to be triggered. Of course I'm not going to be triggered. Over what? If people can lie and gaslight as much as they want, doesn't matter now. Because everybody around here knows I might be a lot of things. I might be a bitch. Might be like a C word. I might be completely just like, sometimes I can be completely unhinged. My guy, unhinged. But the one thing I'm not is a liar. Shit. Really? I'm going to have to edit this after I do my thing. But yeah, so I was filming. They already said their name. They already said their name. Anyway, so yeah. Oh. So basically they already shouted their name out there. It might get this video might get reported, so I'm going to put it on my other channel. But yeah, the dynamics have shifted, and now they've revealed their own name without my help. I mean, oh Lord. Okay. But yeah, I think if I play this back, I might be able to hear everything that's happened, because I'm sure one of them made a taunt on the way back upstairs. But I don't know, probably not. Who cares? But yeah, the dynamics have shifted now, and all I had to do was just say, you know what, I am crazy. Fuck it. That's all I had to do. Just say, you know what, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And then watch the fucking house of cards tumble. But yeah, mental health wanted to have an assessment. I've got a recording here, actually, like a partial recording. I tried to get everything down, but I couldn't get everything down. I don't know if I've named them. I don't think I have. There's someone's name on here. Let me just see. All right, so let's just play this for you. Truth be told, it is usually the neighbours that are bothering me, if I'm really honest with you. Because the thing is that what happens is that it's usually the children, but the adults could get involved as well. So what happens is that they keep needling me and keep trying to get me upset. The last time All right, before I continue, for the last few days, since last Friday, they haven't been doing that. They've been trying their very, very best to keep quiet and to keep everything calm. So from last Friday, they have been doing their level best to avoid the smoke. So yeah, that's it. They've been doing their level best to avoid the smoke. And again, the reason why is, probable cause has been revealed, but let me continue. Confronted them was in December, and they denied everything. So they'll deny everything to my face, and they'll tell everybody else that I'm the one starting drama. But the thing is, the truth of the matter is, they're the ones upsetting me. And I gave the reason for that, which I'm not going to go over again. But the truth of the matter is that I've been harassed for a while, because the children see it as some kind of game. Well, the youngest one does anyway, and the oldest one is just emotional, which is understandable. They're very young. Like, you're talking about one of them's 10, the other one's 6, so they're really, really young. But the 10-year-old is. The 10-year-old is one of those people, like, they feel like they're bad, but they don't mean to be. So the 10-year-old doesn't mean to be, like, mean. It's just that they're very emotional and they can act out of anger. So they don't mean to be like that. Yeah. But the 6-year-old is a lot more spiteful. She's a lot more malicious.
What do they say things to you? I don't want you to go into the details if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's harsh. That's really, really harsh. I can't even lie. That's really harsh. And even though, you're not supposed to talk about kids or anybody's kids. You're not supposed to do that. But the reason why you kind of might have an exception here is because children are often used as perpetrators as well. So this is why I always talk about children. In any other circumstances, you don't talk about people's kids. Ever. Under any circumstances, you don't, any other circumstances, you don't talk about people's kids. You don't say anything negative about people's kids, because not only are they not fully formed yet, so they don't really understand what's going on, but whatever you say about them now could affect them for the rest of their life. So this is something that, if people don't like me for that, if people don't like me for the things that I'm saying about these children, I get it. Because what is said about them now, it could affect them for the rest of their fucking lives. Like, it could affect them to the point where they're still thinking about this shit 3 decades later. So I don't take any of this for granted. So I'm going to admit right now, if you found that harsh, what I just said was harsh, I get it. I really do get it. But we have to be honest about the situation and about what's going on. If there is no transparency, there's no solutions. And if there's no solutions, then gang stalking keeps going on. So we've got to be transparent about these things. But yeah, no, that shit was harsh. Like, even for me, that shit was harsh. I can't even lie.
Well, it's the mum as well. That's the problem is not the children. The problem is the mother, because what she'll do is
technically it's the mum and the aunt, but mum
will make taunts here and there, and then she'll stop. But then the children will imitate her and do the same thing.
Right.
And when you've got like a 10-year-old and 6-year-old watching you do this and listening to you use racial slurs and listening to you use mental health slurs on top of that, and calling you a nonce and calling you a child abuser on top of that.
Oh, that's so distressing.
You've got these
it's just a day in the life for me, mate. Let's continue.
grown adults doing this. And these children are watching everything that's going on, right? When you've got that, of course the kids are not going to have any remorse about what they do. The older one does, but the younger one doesn't understand what's going on yet. She still thinks everything is a game.
Yeah, well, she's only 6, isn't she?
She's only 6, but like she's more malicious than the 10-year-old is. The 10-year-old is like, because he's old enough to know.
The younger ones are always the more malicious ones. This is why I say that, like, in this case, you have to make an exception. I really hate it because for me, criticizing children is no fucking joke to me. It's not a fucking joke thing. I get emotional, yeah, and I say a lot of reckless shit. But cognitively, criticizing children is no fucking joke. People shouldn't even do it. But it's just in this case, because children are also enlisted as perps, either by a parent who's a perp or by the company themselves sometimes, we have to talk about it. And in my experience, it's always been the parent is a narcissist. Therefore, they get very, very easily wounded. And even though they know what they're doing is wrong, they'll kind of make excuses for it. And they will hide behind their children. When they get scared, it's weird. It's kind of like an inverse of animal instinct. You know, animal instinct will be like, don't touch my kid, right? This is kind of an inverse situation where instead of protecting your kids, you will use your kids as a cheering section and you will hide behind them. You will hide behind their imitation of you in order to get out of shit. So that's why child perps have to be discussed and they have to be spoken about. And quite often, in my experience, it's often been the ones who are younger. In fact, women are more invested. Younger children are more invested. Anybody who is more vulnerable and more emotional is likely to be more invested in the gang stalking than any males or anyone who's older. That's what I found anyway, because as women, we go through a lot of hormonal shit that men don't go through. Like, men talk the most shit about how women hang on to things and we get so emotional. But the thing is, we have a lot on our backs that men don't have. And that includes hormonal changes that we go through. There are things that women go through that men do not go through and will never go through. And on top of that, the chemical in their bodies, it prevents them from expressing their emotions properly, which is why even though women are more likely to attempt suicide, men are more likely to succeed because men don't, but that doesn't mean that we have it easy or women have it easy. The truth is we have it very, very hard. That's what makes women such effective gang stalkers. Because on top of everything else that, a man has to go through, women also have their hormones to deal with. And when you've got little girls come into the world carrying that intergenerational trauma from their mothers and their foremothers. So younger people, younger siblings, because they're often too young to understand what's going on. So they are very, very effective weaponized irritants. Women are also very effective because of all the hormonal shit that we go through on top of everything else. So women are also very effective. I've often found anybody with really high PTSD is also effective as well. Like anybody mentally ill or with hormonal issues, younger, anyone who's vulnerable, they tend to be the best gatekeepers for these gang stalkers. So that's why I always discuss child perps. There's a reason why that family was chosen. I've seen it before, I've seen the patterns before. There's a reason why they were chosen. And there's a reason why I keep being moved to small towns. I'm just saying, boy. But I'm fully aware of how harsh I'm being. And it doesn't give me any pleasure to do that, but the truth must be spoken.
He's like, yeah, I'll mess up and I'll say really horrible things. But at the same time, like, you can tell he just doesn't enjoy any of that.
Yeah, no, exactly. It sounds like it's really difficult. How long have you been there?
I've been here for a year, but they've been here for 6 months. And the thing is, I didn't have the best reputation round here before. I was known as somebody who was like really prickly and difficult. Like, you can ask my landlords, I did not have the best reputation coming here. But nobody used to use mental health slurs with me, and nobody used to use mental health slurs with me. Nobody used to use racial slurs with me until that family got here.
On top of that, the reputation that I have now, I didn't have that until that family came along either. The reputation that I have now is very, very different to the reputation I had 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I was just that lady who screamed once and kept to herself. Now I'm threatening kids. I will kick somebody's head in, although to be fair, like one of them, I did want to beat her ass. Like one of the adults, I did want to beat her ass. Not gonna lie. She keeps opening her mouth and I don't know why she keeps doing it, and yet she doesn't expect to get her ass beat. I don't know why. But, you know, now I'm this violent, deranged person. Like, I went from being like an oddball who was singing to herself and dancing and like who screamed at the top of her lungs once, to being somebody who is violent, aggressive, this, that, and the violent shit, all that shit, it did not happen before they came here. None of that happened before they came here. Nobody was afraid of me before they came here. And yet nobody's connected the dots yet. Come on, man.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I can really hear what you're saying. That's just a really horrible thing for you to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, for six whole months, like just non-stop for 6 months, and it's only until things came to a head like last week. I'm not gonna say exactly what happened, but things came. No, it wasn't last week. I can't think if it was last week or the week before. Things came to a head. I'm not gonna say what happened. But things came to a head. I almost confronted one of them. And ever since that, like, apparently, because I got very, very angry. I got very, very angry at one point, and I think this was on a Sunday. That might have been... Hang on a sec. I've got to check the date.
Switch.
I got very, very angry. And I heard one of... I don't know. I'm not gonna say what I heard, but you just trust me when I say it's very serious.
Okay. And is Naomi, the housing officer, still involved in this?
All right, so this is where she starts naming names, and I'd rather just cut it there. But you get the picture. I didn't show you that much. I must have showed you about like what 4 minutes of it, so it wasn't very much. But yeah. So yeah, this whole situation is a mess. But again, I wasn't as triggered talking to like mental health as I usually am, because yeah, it's shifted. It's shifted now. I don't think there's any coming back for like, you know, for my for my gang stalkers and for my abusers. I don't know if there's any coming back from this for them. I don't know if there's any coming back from everything that's happened. I don't think there is. I don't think there is any coming back from everything. There's no coming back from it for me, but for me, it's almost a good thing, because I don't have to hide my like lack of emotional restraint anymore. I don't have to try to mask any illnesses that I'm going through. But I feel like for everyone else, there's no coming back from this. There is no coming back from this. And that is definitely going to change. I feel like it will change the dynamic through all the other neighborhoods that I've been a part of, because I feel like it will send ripple effects throughout everywhere now that the dynamics have shifted. And I know it sounds like really extreme to say, and in my head I'm thinking, like, how is that even possible? Like, but I really, really feel like the dynamics here is going to shift the dynamics of literally every neighborhood that I've been through. Even if emotionally I feel the same, everything's changed now. Everything's changed now. There's no going back from this. So, yeah. It's an interesting situation. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I do anticipate that the physical pain aspect of it is going to get worse, because I'm getting to an age where even though I do have the mental illnesses and the emotional instabilities, it's getting to a point where, like, as an adult, certain things don't get to you anymore. And when certain things don't get to you, that's when the psychological warfare portion of it stops. And that's when they up the physical warfare. That's when they up the electronic torture. That's when they really, really hammer you and really, really drive you into sickness, like I've seen with so many people who are older. But yeah, the dynamics have shifted drastically. So it's only a matter of time to see what happens next. It'd be interesting to see what happens next. But anyway, I gotta go. You guys take care. My fellow TIs, peace and blessings. I love you very much. And you guys have been reaching out to me talking about a lot of heinous shit that you guys have been through. I am so sorry about the torture and the heartache and the pain that you have been through. Like, no ordinary person should go through this shit. This is just beyond the pale. And I'm sorry that any of you have to go through this. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I love you guys. I love all of you. And please understand that I mean that. I do. With my entire heart, I love you, my fellow TIs. And I want the best for you. And I want you to thrive as much as you can in the hell that you've been put under. I wish nothing but the best for all of you. And I really do mean that. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.